Okay, so let's talk about quadratic functions, domain, and range. So remember, domain is the x values. Domain is x, range is y. Don't forget. So domain is going from left to right. And then, yep. So I'd say down to up because you want to do your lowest to your highest. All right, look at example 1 and 2. So we have 1, you try. All right, we're just going to do the examples, and then you're going to finish out with the you try. All right, example 1, domain. So I'm going to label my x-axis and my y-axis. So domain is x. Look at how we have arrows going left and right. Anytime you have arrows going left and right, you are going to say all real numbers. So we're going to put all real numbers because of those arrows going left and right. And then your range is looking at how far down to how far up. So how far down does it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5 to up infinity, right? So it's from, if we want to write it out, we did this a while back. We did like -5 is less than or equal to y is less than infinity. Do y'all remember doing that with linear? It's been a little while. So we could leave it like that, but honestly, we just want to use the side that has numbers. So we want to flip it around so we have y first. So y is greater than or equal to -5. See how this is the same thing as that, except everything is flipped. The y and the -5 are flipped, and the inequality symbol is flipped. So it says y is greater than or equal to -5. And then the last question, do we have a max or a min? Min. We have the lowest point. Anytime you have a minimum, your range is going to be greater than or equal to. If I say I have a minimum of $10 in my account, that means I have $10 or more, right? Some banks charge based on what you have in your account. You have to have $200 in there. If you don't, then they start charging you a fee. So I always try to relate it to money. Let's do example 2. Label your x, label your y. So domain, we have arrows going left and right, so domain is all real numbers. Then we need our range. Let's see, how far down does it go? Yep, -infinity. How far up does it go? Yep. So this is where we would write it as what? I'm going to write it down here so I can write the final answer here. -infinity is less than y is less than or equal to 4. Because you go from the down to the up. You can't put or equal to on infinity because you can never actually touch infinity. So then we are just going to use the side that has numbers. has the number, I guess I should say. So y is less than or equal to 4. So do we have a maximum or a minimum? Is this the highest point or the lowest point? Highest point, so it's a maximum. All right, let's go to example 3. Label your x-axis and your y-axis. What do you notice about this compared to example 1 and 2?
It got dots.
Yeah.
That's what I actually have, a point.
So it's not all real numbers for your domain. So remember how we said domain is left to right? How far left and how far right? We're putting fences on there. Left to right. That would be 1, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 6 left and 2 to the right. So we're going to sandwich that with x in the middle. And we use less than or equal to if we're going from left to right. We're going to the smallest number to the biggest. Because these have closed dots, we're going to do or equal to, less than or equal to. So negative 6 is less than or equal to x. It's less than or equal to. That just means that the x values are only between negative 6 and 2. Let's do the range. The range is low or down to up. There we go. Down to up. How far down does it go?
-4.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 5 to how far up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that 9? Y'all count it. Double check me. Okay, good. So we're going to write this the same way. The smaller number first with y sandwiched in there. And we're going to use less than or equal to. There's not a closed dot, but if you don't see an open dot, it's still included. So these are both going to be less than or equal to. The only time you do just less than is if you actually see an open dot. Okay. Did we have a maximum or a minimum? Minimum. Good. Okay. One last example. Example 4. So domain, let's label our x. Let's label our y. So domain is left to right. I'm going to use my paper.
That's like
-1 would be here. That would kind of cut it off.
like 1.5, maybe.
Let's go with 2. -2. I'm going to use my paper again. 2.
Like 4.
Let's see. Yeah, 4.
So -2 is less than or equal to x, and then it's less than 4.
Oh, yeah, less than. Whoops, I made a mistake. Because it's an open circle. So see how that's open? So we're going to have the less than. So be careful with that. Don't make a mistake there. All right, and then your range is your y. So it's low. How low does it go?
3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 9.
Yeah, -9. And then how high does it go? High. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So see how this has both dots? It does touch, but then it doesn't touch. But does it still touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So we're going to say less than or equal to. And then this one, there's not open dot, so it's also less than or equal to. And then do we have a maximum or a minimum?
Maximum.
Okay, go ahead and pick 2 to do on your own right now.